Hello, arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Today is my 33rd Chill and Chat live stream. So I've been doing this now 33 times, and I'm now at 1,000 subscribers. So tonight is the night in which we're going to do the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, or at least get it started, at least get our contestants and our entries squared away. We're going to do a live stream later on, maybe in a week or two, where we actually draw the names. But the good news is you won't have to be present for that. So if you make it tonight, that's all that's needed in order to enter and win. And I'm going to go through all these details with you guys tonight. We'll answer any questions, anything like that, so we clear up any confusion on the contest, make sure everyone understands it, know it's fair, and we don't have any problems later on. Also, we've got some news on tap for Arcade1up. We had the Street Fighter release this week, or at least the prototype release, where we got to see what this new Street Fighter is going to look like. And if you guys remember last week, I went through quite a bit of speculation, but before I had started the speculation, I had showed you guys an image of a cabinet that Justin Console Kits was showing off a few months ago. And we're going to compare that image to what we got, because I see a lot of similarities, and they're very close to what he was predicting and what we actually got. So I want to compare those. But first, let's say hi to everyone in the chat, everyone who's made it. Thank you for being here. If you're watching and you're not able to chat, tonight is 24 hours or more. So you would have had to been a subscriber over 24 hours ago in order to chat tonight. Normally I'll do like a 1 minute or 5 minute window before you can chat. Tonight I did 24 hours. That way we can ensure everyone was already subscribed prior to the live stream today, because in order to enter into the live stream or enter into this contest, you'll have to be in the live stream and you'll have to be able to chat. And in order to chat, you have to be a subscriber. So it's all meant that way for tonight. But starting next week, we'll go back to the regular thing where you can just subscribe and pretty much instantly chat. But that won't happen tonight. But let's say hi to everyone here. So Cornercade, he's already put in his Countercade hashtag. I've also seen JJ did it earlier as well. That's fine. Anyone can put it in at any moment. As long as the live stream was created, you can put it in there, because I'm just going to go through the replay and look at the live chat replay. And if long as Countercade's in there, you're good. So go ahead and put those in there now, guys, if you haven't already. Or you can do it at any time before it ends. Jason M says, evening all, good to see you, Jason. Very cool you're here with us. I know there's a couple other live streams going on as well. Carl O is here saying hi, Biggie D in chat. Gregory's here as well. I did see a pretty cool message from Gregory right here, where he's talking about how he got his Godzilla Pro coming on Wednesday. And he is out of his mind excited. I would be too. If I had just any Stern pinball table, or any real pinball table for that matter, I would be super excited about having that. Those things are expensive and they're big investments. And, it's not something you do every day or every year. This is like a once in a lifetime thing, or, something you don't do very often. So congratulations on getting your Godzilla Pro. Stern pinball table. This is, Godzilla is #1 as far as the pinball tables that are available. I really like Godzilla, but it is not my favorite. I would have to say my favorite's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, only because I'm like a huge fan of them. Not so much the table, just the artwork and what I'm seeing when I'm playing makes me like that one the most. I would say my second favorite right now is 007, and then third favorite would be Foo Fighters. But right behind that is going to be like Mandalorian and Avengers. Carlo is saying congrats to Greg. Matt Astras made it. Alfred Berger is here. Hey, good to see you. Matt Astras said, I can't afford a Godzilla pin, but RSV LTS has a nice Godzilla Hawaiian shirt I'm going to get. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I can't afford these pinball tables. I mean, this is like big money for those things. I'm stretching just to get into this 4KP at games here in a couple of months at like a price tag of $1,500, $1,600. I feel like that's super high for me. Carlos says, hi, Alfred and Daisy. Smash the like. Definitely do. Jim Pacers fan here. He's saying hello, everyone. Darren's here. He's congratulating me on 1,000. Thank you, Darren. I appreciate that. It's been a long road. I started the channel in end of August, beginning of September, and we're in August. So it took almost an entire year to get to 1,000. And it is a grind because, you know, you got to start from zero and, you know, you got to create and learn to create. And it's a long road. Hayden Dew is here. Congrats. Thank you, Hayden. So let's go ahead, guys, and get in. And also the chat, I want to let you guys know too, the chat that I'm reading here on my screen is a little bit behind. I'm not sure why, but like for whatever reason, it's like if I was to pull up my phone right now and look at the chat, I'm sure I could probably see more messages than I'm seeing now. Yeah, there's all kinds of them coming through. We got Kurt is here. Steps is here. Papa Brad is here. But for whatever reason, my chat here on my right screen that I use to bring up everyone's chats on the screen, it doesn't show as quick as like what my phone does. And it takes a while for some of these chats to come through. So if you guys notice me not reading off chats till later on, that's why I'm not getting them immediately. But like on my phone, I would. So it's really strange. Something I'll have to look into later on. But let's look at this, guys. So this is the 1,000 there. So here all the chats just came through where I can bring everybody up here. Darren Kane, he says, oh, I was around for TMNT even before the animated series. Looks like we're getting a lot of countercade hashtags in there. That's really good. That's the first part in getting entered. Hayden says, I finally got my Qbert after I got tired of waiting for the Arcade1up to make one. So it sounds like Hayden is saying he actually purchased an actual Qbert cabinet. Or did you get the New Wave Toys, the miniature replica? But if you got a real Qbert cab, that's awesome. No reason to wait on that because who knows when that'll ever get made. Cornercade saying, Biggie D, I would say that the Street Fighter Deluxe is now 63 inches high, like the new NBA Jam Deluxe. It helps for taller people. Are you getting the Street Fighter Deluxe? And that's a very good question, Cornercade. I'm not decided on that yet. And we're going to get into some heavy discussion on this new Street Fighter CE HS5 Deluxe here in a moment. That's kind of like the second part of the show is all talk about that. So we're going to get into that and I'll tell you what I think about it. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, all those things. But I am interested. To answer your question, I am interested, but I'm not sold yet. Kurt's putting his countercade hashtag in. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and put that in. Jim Pacers fan, I will be lucky to get the ALP 4K. That's where I'm at. I'm going to be stretching it to get one, probably end up putting it on a credit card and paying it off over time. Kurt's congratulating me. Steps is congratulating me. Really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Jason M is saying, I hope that 63 inches height is accurate. Elsewhere on A1up page, it says 61. So that is interesting. I don't know if we have exact measurements from the Evo Championship Series or not. Maybe Beacon got us some measurements or brought a tape measure with them to do that. Fireside Arcade says Countercade. Got your entry in there. Cornercade also says, yeah, Jason, they just copied and pasted that height. It's 63 inches, though. Okay, so there's our confirmation. It is 63 inches. It's good. So we're getting taller cabinets. I did notice, too, when you look at the pictures of the MVC2 right next to the new Street Fighter HS5 Deluxe, you'll see the screen's higher, marquee's higher. Everything looks higher except for the coin door. The coin door sits a lot lower. That's something else we'll discuss here. But let's get into the details and the fine details of this 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I posted this earlier in a community post, but I also want to go live on air and discuss it, make sure no one has any questions, because I want full transparency. I want everything to be on record, because if you guys know anything about Arcade1up, they're going through a huge controversy right now with a giveaway that they did in which UAG essentially, and we can't say for sure if he did it or not, but it appears that he did rig a giveaway. And that is not anything that I want to be associated with or anything that I want to carry on to this giveaway, because this giveaway is completely different. This is 100% fair, honest, full transparency, rules, everything's in writing. So there should be no questions. There should be no controversy associated with this giveaway. And also, these are free items, 100% paid for by me. There is no Arcade1up sponsorship behind this giveaway. This is all just my own money spending on these items to give back to my subscribers and my channel and the people that support my channel. So here are the prizes. So the prizes that we're going to give away, first prize is going to be a brand new Arcade1up 2-player countercade, and you're going to have the choice of an MK2 or an NBA Jam. Those are the only two that are available. I was hoping that the Marvel Superheroes and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would have become available before today, but they didn't. So we're sticking with just these two. These are the only ones that are available in this 2-player countercade. Second place is going to get a premium ring spun cotton t-shirt from the channel store. You'll be able to select your color or your size. Third place will get a comfort tee from the channel store. Select your color and size. And I had said last week we're just going to do the comfort tees for both second and third, but I changed my mind. I want second place to get something a little better than third place. And it's only like a couple dollars more for the premium shirt. So I went ahead and just threw that in for the second place to give them something a little more. Now, how do you enter into this contest? So the first step, 1A, because there's two steps, but these, and I say 1A and 1B because you have to do both of these tonight, okay? One of them starts right now, or it started whenever I posted the live stream earlier today, and that's once the Chill and Chat live stream starts. And when I say start, I mean when I posted it around 5 o'clock my time today. That's when it started. That's when the chat officially came up on the screen. Even though I didn't actually start live streaming, the chat was still available as long, like I saw JJ put in countercade, that's okay. You don't have to come back, JJ, if you're not here and say it again, you're good, you're covered. But as long as everyone who wants to enter puts in countercade before the end of this live stream. So when I click the end button on my OBS and I end the stream, at that point it closes. There are no more hashtag countercades. That is it. That is your last chance to start your entry. Now that is only the first part of your step. There's a second part of the first step, and that'll happen after this live stream concludes. So this live stream started around 7:15. It'll probably end around, I would say 8:30 my time. And I'm not going to do the math on Eastern time for that, but I'm Pacific time right now. But whenever that time is, which would be around 8:15, 8:30, whatever time that is, that's when you send the email. So what you're going to do is there's a contact form in the upper right-hand corner of my YouTube page. There is also a link in my community post today to this contact page, okay? You're going to go there after the live stream ends. So when I press end on the live stream, at that point, any emails that come into my inbox from that point for the next 24 hours are going to finalize your entry. Okay, so those people will be finalized and they'll be entered into the contest. Now, if you sent your email prior to the end of this live stream, make sure to do it again and send it after the live stream, and don't do it any later than 24 hours because you won't get entered in if you don't follow these rules exactly. And the reason I'm doing these like this and I'm making them so difficult is for a couple of reasons. One, I want it to be fair. I want to know 100% that you guys out there that won are the actual person that won, number one. That's important to me. But the second reason that I'm doing this is I want to make it not so easy, right? I want everyone who's like true fans of the channel that go out of their way to watch and do the extra things to watch. I want those people to win this contest. So I'm making things a little more difficult than just putting a hashtag in. So this, you can't just put hashtag countercade and get entered. You have to do this step as well, and I'll read it. So once the live stream concludes, I press end on the live stream tonight, you'll have 24 hours from that minute. So that this time tomorrow, 24 hours from now, to use the contact form, which I've provided, and you're going to fill that out. All you're going to put is your YouTube. You're going to make sure you provide your YouTube username, a valid contact email address, and a unique 4-digit code that you've created. So I provided an example here, 1234 or 4321. Don't use that code. Create one that you've thought of and don't share that code with anyone. What's going to happen is that email is going to come to me this evening or tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, and within this 24-hour period. And I'm going to take all those emails and I'm going to save all those emails to my desktop. So I'll have not only a copy in my email, I'll have a copy on my computer of all these emails. So what's going to happen after that? So let's say you followed those steps, you're now entered into the contest. So how can you win? So 24 hours after the live stream concludes, as long as you've typed the hashtag during the live stream and you've used the contact form to send me your name, email, and code to get entered, you'll be entered. And then there'll be a later live stream. This is to be announced. I don't know yet when this will be, if it'll be next weekend or the following weekend. I don't know yet when that's going to be. I'm going to be at a expo, a gaming conference next weekend. Called Game On Expo. So I don't want to commit to next weekend. It may be the following week or even the week after that before we actually draw these names. But you won't have to be there. Like I'd said, there'll be 3 names drawn. And if your name is drawn, that's fine. You don't have to be there that evening when I draw your name. You just have to be entered. And the first name that is drawn will get the first prize. The second name that is drawn will get the second prize. Third name drawn will get the third prize. Now, here are the rules. Here is like the fine print. So you must be a subscriber to the channel. These prizes, let's say you live outside of the country and you send me an address outside the country, that won't work. You'll be disqualified. We can only send prizes within the United States. So even if you're in Alaska or Hawaii, I'll still manage and get it to you. You just have to be in the US. Number 3, prizes will only be shipped to the winner with a matching YouTube username and 4-digit code. So the reason I did this is there are ways people can mask emails and try to make themselves appear as they're someone else. Well, with this 4-digit code system, there's no possible way that they're going to be able to act as you because they don't know your code. Unless they're hacking into your email or something, which, you know, that's not likely. This will be enough to ensure that it's secure and accurate as far as who wins and who gets the prize. As for number 3, so this is, and I just realized I got another typo here. I got 2 3s in a row, so I apologize. Winners will be required to use the channel contact form to submit shipping address, YouTube username, and a matching 4-digit code within 5 business days of being declared the winner. So whenever we declare our winners, that'll be live on air. You'll have 5. So let's say you didn't make that live stream, but you find out the next morning when you wake up that you won. You're going to have 5 business days to send me this information. And the reason I'm allowing so many business days after you're declared the winner is some people are out of town. Some people may be working. Who knows what the circumstances are? And I still want you guys to have a chance to collect your prize. And I feel like 5 days is fair enough for that. Number 4, winners are not required to be present during the live stream where the winners' names are drawn, but is required to submit this information via the contact form in 5 business days. So I'm going to check. If I haven't received your name by the 12th, then you're disqualified. And what happens when if I don't get this information, let's say you countercade the hashtag, you win the contest, but you don't send me the name, email, or code within the correct code within 5 business days, 7/12, your prize will then go to the next person. So if let's say the first person doesn't send me this information in time, whoever got second and was drawn second will then get the countercade. Let's say the first person doesn't send me the required information and the second person doesn't send me the required information. Then the third name drawn will win the countercade. Now, what's cool about this is, let's say that scenario, the first two didn't send me their information. The third person wins the countercade. I'm also going to send you guys the t-shirts too. So in that event, you would get 2 t-shirts and the countercade. Now, let's say first prize doesn't send me anything. The countercade goes to the second name drawn. They'll get the countercade and what they would have won already, which is the t-shirt for second place. So I hope all that makes sense, guys. It should be pretty easy to understand. But if you guys have any questions or you guys are confused about anything, let me know in the chat, and I'll try to bring that up and make sure everyone's clear on it. Carlo says Rexer is certifying this giveaway. Let's see here. Who else got some questions? So Corner Case says, Carlo, you don't have a 1-up? And Beach Native says, Biggie D, what's up, bro? So I played Beach Native and Killer Instinct this weekend, and it was a close match. It went to the very end, but he got me. And Carlo's talking about how he has an At Games and an iArcade, but no Arcade1up, so this would be his first one. Fireside Arcade is saying, thanks, Biggie. Kurt is saying, sweet. Bad Guy Mike Orley saying he's late. You're not too late, because all you got to do is just put in the hashtag and you'll be entered. Because I'll be able to go back and look at the replay later and pull all these and make sure that I get everyone entered. And Thor KC's here. He's saying, what's up, Biggie? And he did his countercade. So we've got quite a few entries going. This is pretty cool. Papa Brad's saying that this makes sense. And Jason M says, number 4 has 7/12/23. Okay, guys, I apologize. So I typed this stuff up really quick. So let me do this. I could do something on the fly here to correct this while we're live. This is when you know your OBS skills are really good. When you can do this quick. There we go. So now take your screenshots. It is official. 5 business days will be. So the 7th is our first, 8th is our second, 9th is our third, 10th is our fourth, 11th is our 5th. So the 8/12/23 is the official date that you would have to send me that information by in the event that you win. Peter's asking, where is the contact form? So the contact form is on the website, but I'll put it on here on the live stream as well, so you guys can take a screenshot of this. And I'll just put it here on the screen. And I'm not going to put the full link because it's kind of a long link, but this will get you there. Called athomearcades.com. Oh, sorry, guys. Not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Get down. There we go. Where am I going to put this? Put it right there. All right, so there's your link. You can take a screenshot now, Peter. That's your link. It's just athomearcades.com. If you go to that website, I can actually pull it up here so you guys can see what it looks like. So, see if I go to this screen. I'm going to lose you guys for a minute. You guys should still be able to hear me, though. And I'm just bringing up a display capture here for my second screen. All right. So we've got this almost pulled up here for us. Okay, there we go. So you guys should be seeing this now. And we're just going to go to my YouTube page. And if you guys see here on my YouTube page, oops, you guys are going to see the chat there. So here's like my YouTube page, right? You'll see this contact form in the upper right. So if you guys don't have the link, or if you are just going to use that link, this is what it's going to look like. So if you just click contact form, it'll take you directly to the contact form. So you're going to put your name right here. That's going to be your YouTube username. So I don't really need your real name. Just give me your YouTube username. Your email, this is going to be a valid email. So an email that I can contact you at. For subject, you could just put giveaway or Arcade1up giveaway, just anything really. It doesn't really matter what you put there. And then this message here is critical because you've given me your YouTube username, you've given me your email. In this box is when you're going to put your code. So let me do a test here so you guys can see what it looks like. I'm going to put that in there. And then just put test@test.com. And then for a subject, I'm just going to put giveaway. And then my message right there, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to hit submit. And you're going to want to see this message right here. Thank you for your message. It has been sent. So that is your confirmation that I have received your code. So I hope that has made sense for you guys and helped with the with finding that. All right, so let's see if we have any other questions before we move on. Goofy saying my 4-digit code ? So it's just a 4-digit code that you create. This is just so we can verify you later. Beach Native says it was a good game. We need a rematch. Definitely do. I enjoyed playing online. That was actually only like my second or third time to play online too. So it was funny that I had run into you online. Papa Brad's Gaming says people who do not even watch shows win all the time. Where was the contact form for after the stream? So that's going to be the contact form right here at Home Arcades that I just showed on screen that you'll go to after the stream. So whenever this ends, from that time until 24 hours from now, if you've sent it before, like Papa Brad, if you've already sent me your code, you'll have to resend it to me after the live stream ends. I'm only going to count ones that conclude. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want people leaving the stream right now to go do that. Or I also want to make it a little more difficult too. I don't want this to be super simple. I want just the most, I would say the most dedicated fans to win these prizes. PD7 says, hey, Biggie in chat. All right. So I think we're good on questions. I don't see any more. But if I do, I'll come back to this, guys. JJ's here. He says, we would only fill this out if we win, right? Okay. So yes. So only thing you're doing tonight, guys, is entering. So that's a good question, JJ. I'm glad you brought that up. So all we're focused on tonight is just entering the contest, which is putting your Countercade hashtag in the live chat. And then after the live stream ends, going to that contact form I just showed you guys and filling that out with your YouTube username, contact email, and a unique 4-digit code. Okay. Everything else after that is only going to be necessary if you win. So if you find out your name was drawn whenever that drawing happens, then you're going to go to At Home Arcades and you're going to have 5 business days to send me your YouTube username, which I should already have, a matching 4-digit code, which I should already have. But the one thing I'm not going to have, and the reason why you have to follow up with me before August the 12th, is that I need your shipment address. So a place to send this. And I also want to make sure that the 4-digit code that you send me matches up exactly with what you sent me tonight or tomorrow. That way no one can pretend to be you. You know, only you know that code, so only you can collect that prize. Hope that makes sense. Let's see here. Beach Natives, can you just make a link in the chat so we can click on it? Yeah, absolutely. Let me get that pulled up for you. But it is very simple to find, guys, if you need to find it. So like if you're rewatching this later, don't worry. It's right on my YouTube page in the upper right-hand corner. So there's the link, guys. Do not go to that link and send me your code and your email and your YouTube username until after this live stream ends. That is a rule. So if you guys sent it to me and you don't send it to me again after the live stream ends, you won't get entered. The code if we win. Yeah, so Peter, you're going to email me tonight or tomorrow a code. Within the next 24 hours, you're going to send me that code, and then that will only come back up again if you win, Peter. You'll want to remember that code because you're going to have to provide that to me if you happen to win. All right, guys, so we'll move on from this, and we're going to get into the fun stuff. Well, of course, winning a countercade is definitely a lot of fun, but all these like little fine details isn't. I'm actually probably going to have to go back looking at these rules. I'm going to have to go back and delete that community post I had made today earlier and repost it again with these rules with the corrections. Like I need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not 2 3s there. And I also need to make sure that it reflects an 8/12 date, not a 7/12. So sorry about that, guys. I do all this stuff on my free time. So it's like I don't put in the extra, time, I guess, to spell check like I would if this was work because I'm just not thinking of it in that way, I guess. So I apologize. All right. So let's get into the fun stuff. Let's discuss some Arcade1up. That's what we do on this channel mostly, is we focus on home arcade, and who's the biggest in home arcade is Arcade1up. So they pretty much dominate a lot of our discussion. But what the subject is tonight and what I want to spend most of this evening talking about is the Street Fighter. What we thought could have been a Pro or an XL or a Deluxe. We didn't know what Street Fighter it would be. We didn't know if it'd be Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, or if it'd be Street Fighter 3, or if it would be Street Fighter Alpha, or even possibly Capcom versus SNK. There were a lot of rumors out there. There were a lot of speculation on what it could be. And I had also provided you guys as well with my thoughts on what I thought we would be getting. And I provided like 5 slides with all these various cabinets. And I told you guys what I thought was my favorite, and the one I wanted to see the most was Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. However, I had started the slides with this slide. And this was a credit to Justin Console Kits because he had posted this. He had used this in his live streams for weeks on end earlier this year until he went on break. And then we hadn't heard much about it in several months. And this was supposed to be a Pro. He was saying that eventually Arcade1up is going to release a Pro Series Street Fighter cabinet, and this is coming soon, and this is what it's going to look like, guys. And I think he was even running a contest at the time or something around this when he was posting these pictures. And I had lots of thoughts on it being a Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition and us just getting another, rehash of a cabinet we had already seen, but with a new form factor. And I thought that was probably the most likely possibility. But I had really wanted to go out on a limb and speculate on all these other games because I really wanted those games. I wanted to see those happen. And I think many others out there in the community wanted to see that happen as well. So it was really exciting just talking about it and imagining it and, wishing for it. And even the day before these, we got the official announcement at EVO, like I had even said in the chat, it kind of felt like Christmas because it's like, what are we going to get tomorrow? It could be something amazing, something we've been wishing and hoping for. And it wasn't. It was a rehash. It was a Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, like most had thought it would be, but didn't really want. But this is the Pro. So this is the way the Pro would have looked. And I wanted to compare this picture with what we actually got, because we did get a Street Fighter Champion Edition, but we didn't get a Pro Series. We got a Deluxe cabinet. So we didn't get that high end, what we wanted. So let's take a look here at what we actually got. So this is what's called the Street Fighter II CE HS5 Deluxe. It's modeled or meant to replicate or look like a Dynamo Street Fighter cabinet, which were very popular back in the arcades. And there were many arcades that used this form factor in this cabinet design. So it was very popular. And this is what we actually got. And so like looking at this image here, it looks very similar to what Justin was providing us several months ago. The only differences I'm really noticing here are obviously the size. You know, a Pro is going to be much larger like the KI Pro was, much bigger, taller side panels, probably a little bit wider, bigger marquee, bigger game deck. And that's what the Pro gives you, right? But also we can visually see some other additions that we would have gotten on the Pro that we didn't get in the Deluxe. And that was, if you look at the chrome around the speaker grills, we didn't get that. We didn't get the what looks or appears to be chrome T-molding like they used on the KI Pro. We didn't get that with the Deluxe. Also, it looks like they were using a little bit better buttons possibly on this, which we just got the standard buttons. And this one here actually looks like it has a little more slant on the game deck as well. I don't know if I would have been a huge fan of that huge slant either. A lot of people have complained about the big blue and, you know, how it hurts their wrists and hands over time. And it's just not a very comfortable cabinet. And a lot of people replace their game decks on their big blues because of that. And it appears that this one would have suffered from that same, you know, extreme slant if they had gone with this design. So maybe it was a good thing we didn't actually end up getting this one for the sake of our wrist and our hands with that extreme slant. But let's look here. This is what we actually got. So this is a deluxe cabinet. It's a little bit smaller. Like I said, it's not going to have the T-molding. It's not going to have as big of a marquee. It's not going to be as tall. It is a little taller, though, however, than the previous cabinets. It's and we saw here in the chat, I saw Cornercade. He had verified for us that it is indeed around 63 inches tall. So it is a little bit taller than what we've been seeing in the past. Also, I'd noticed that the screen is a little bit higher than the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which I would appreciate that being taller, having that screen a little bit closer to my field of vision. So I am happy with that. Now, it does have the same games list. It's got the same 14 games that we got in the Yoga Flame and the Shinku Hadouken. That's a little bit of a disappointment. I was hoping we would at least get a different games list, something unique, something different. We're just getting the same PCB, same exact games. Now, the menu system is different. I did notice, and we'll look at some video here in a moment, that they did upgrade the menu system a little bit. So it's not the exact same, but as far as the games, it is. Now, here's a close-up of the marquee. So now this is one positive thing that we have seen with this is the marquee. It's probably the best looking marquee that they've done to date. And the reason that is it's double-sided art. So it has a reverse printed artwork on the opposite side, the side that you don't see that's facing the light. And what that does is that gives off a better, even distribution of light through the marquee, which is kind of similar to what we're seeing with our Zabos marquees. So this is hopefully a marquee to keep, and we won't have to upgrade and spend, you know, the extra $100 in the time replacing these, at least with this one. Now, will this be a standard moving forward with all the cabinets in the future? Well, that'll be left to be determined. But at least we know on this one that they have done a very good job with the marquee. Now, another thing that's really, I say very cool about this cabinet, because I actually like it, is this piece that comes out from the game deck. I've been looking at my cabinets the last couple of days since this was released, and I just kind of look at them, right? And I look at where those game decks come out, and it's just that real basic, just, you know, where you guys can see here, and you guys know you own these cabinets, how they look. This just looks so much better, and it probably feels so much better on your wrist and your hands because of how much farther out it comes. it's going to measure out another few inches from the game deck. So it's going to give you some room for your wrists. It's going to feel pretty comfortable, especially for that first player, I would imagine. And this is a huge advancement. I hear a lot of people complaining, they say, every year, Arcade1up, they're just coming out with a rehash, and they're just, doing one thing better or two things better on this cabinet to kind of get you to sell the one you have and replace it with the new one. And I don't look at it that way. Now, keep in mind too, guys, I don't buy, 20, 30 cabinets. I don't have a huge home where I can fill my house with cabinets. So I'm pretty selective on these. So I'm not really in a position where like I've bought a bunch of Street Fighters in the past and I'm faced with, what do I do? Do I sell those and get this one? So I can't really put myself in your shoes. I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I've never bought Street Fighter before, so maybe that's why I feel the way I feel. But I don't think that these small advancements are a bad thing. I think they're doing some really cool stuff. Like, even though it took, 4 or 5 Street Fighters for us to get to this point, to have this extra room on the game deck and to have a better design for the game deck, it took that time, and it took all these, advancements over time. But at least they're getting there, and they're bringing us some really cool stuff. This is like totally different than what we've ever had before. It's going to look completely different than any of the other arcades that we have in our home arcade. So this is a lot. This is a big deal, I think, and especially for me. Like, I've never bought a Street Fighter 2 before, so it's like, I've always waited for the right deal. And a problem for me in getting a Street Fighter cabinet is these Street Fighter cabinets typically hold their value a lot more than the other Arcade1up cabinets. So where I'm finding, huge clearance prices on KI or Miss Pac-Man or my pinball, I'm not finding those deals on the Street Fighter cabinets. They're much harder to find. They sell better. They don't stay in stock as long. Their prices tend to be higher. And I think all those factors contributed to why I don't have a Street Fighter cabinet or never bought one. So now I'm faced with, do I buy this one at full price at $499? I think $499 is fair. I think, they could have easily charged $599 and just matched it right up with the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and people probably still would have bought it. So I think they were doing a fair price at $499. I was actually pleasantly surprised that they did do it at $499 for what we're getting. So I'm, debating, should I get this cabinet? And, picturing in my head, how is it going to look in my arcade? How is it going to play? Asking those questions to myself, because I'm asking buying questions to myself. And I'm wondering, out there for you guys, have you owned a Street Fighter, and are you wanting to upgrade, or are you debating, should I upgrade? Or have you never bought a Street Fighter like me and you're contemplating or deciding, should I buy this one? But let's see what some of the people have said here in the chat while we're looking at these images. And I've got some other slides lined up here too, and we're going to continue the discussion. But I had wanted to get your input before we go on. And let's see here. So Jason M says, Carlo, guess it's too complicated to make you the winner if I win. And so just on that note, Jason, so let's say you won and you didn't send me the email within 24 hours after winning that, and let's say Carl got second, he would get your prize in that scenario. Throwing that out there. So make sure to follow those rules, and definitely ask questions in the stream tonight, or I'm going to repost the community post probably immediately after this stream with that correct date. You can also comment in that community post if you have any questions, because we'll have a full 24 hours to finish up whatever you need to do to get entered. Thor says, all your countercades belong to us. All your countercades belong to us. So let's see here. Now, I may have to scroll down here to get into some discussion on Street Fighter. Okay, so C North says, can't wait for an XL. Too long of a wait. I was really hoping on an XL. I was really hoping on the Pro. Really, how badly the Pro did on the Killer Instinct, it was probably more likely that we got the XL. But I also thought too, it's probably going to be a deluxe because we've been getting a deluxe in everything. Everything that has sold well, that Arcade1up has done well, they're now redoing in the deluxe form. And we're seeing the deluxe form coming before the XL. So like with Pac-Man, we saw the deluxe Pac-Man, then we saw the XL Pac-Man. So that'll come after we get this deluxe Street Fighter. Maybe we'll get an XL Street Fighter later on. And that brings up another really good question. Do you buy now knowing that there's a very good possibility here in 6 months they may make a Street Fighter XL in the same form factor with the Dynamo cabinet design? That's one question we have to ask ourselves. Because like me, I want the XL. That's what I would prefer. Jason M says, well, if I win, I'll tell him to give it to you and see if he bans me. Papa Brad says the deluxe are good for people new to buying Arcade1ups. Definitely. I think the older arcade fans who have a bunch of cabs want to see the XL more and new titles. Yeah, so the people that own a lot of these cabinets, those are the ones that want the XL because like me, I've already experienced these smaller ones and now I want something better. I want something bigger. But if I had never owned these cabinets and I'd never known what they were like, I'd probably want to go after whatever's the least expensive starting out, kind of inch my way into this hobby. Rehash, boo, C North is saying. And that's, many people feel that way. They were really disappointed because we're just getting something we've seen before. I mean, artwork, even though it is authentic, it just kind of reminds me of the first gen Street Fighter. And, it doesn't seem like we've gone very far from where they started when you see it visually, but there are some nice additions to this, and I think they've done a pretty good job. Beach Native says, since next year is the year of XLs, I think I'm just going to wait until then and buy some 1-ups then. So yeah, that's a good way to do it, and a good plan, Beach Native, is just to wait it out till next year and let's see what XLs come. They've kind of shot themselves in the foot with this XL thing because they've been releasing the XL after the deluxe we saw, and people are, they're in the know now. They know what's happening. They know their plan and how these are going to be made. And that's part of our decision now. Like we see with Beach Native, is he knows that there is going to be an XL coming, or it's very likely that there is. And there's going to be people out there that are huge Arcade1up enthusiasts that buy these all the time that are actually going to wait. Where if they would have just released the XL and the deluxe at the same time, I think that would be the best way to go about it, because then you're giving everyone a chance to get what they want, and you're probably maximizing your sales and your opportunities for sales by releasing them simultaneously, an XL and a deluxe, then waiting to do the XL. Because who knows, let's say Beach Native waits till next year to get his XL. But then next year something better comes out, or a competitor comes out with something better, or who knows? There's hundreds of things that can happen between now and next year. They could potentially lose that business in that process, and they, as far as Arcade1up, they don't want to see that happen. So if you're listening, Arcade1up, don't make the deluxe, then make the XL. Just bring them out at the same time. If you know you're going to do it, just do it at the same time. Papa Brad's Gaming says there is a seam between the control panel and the front piece, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's something I was going to discuss. And you are absolutely correct. There is that space, that little area between the end of the control panel and this piece that we're putting on the end. How is that going to feel on our wrists? So like for me, I'm debating whether or not I should buy this, but I would never run out and pre-order this or go on Arcade1up and pre-order it without actually getting hands-on with it because of this issue right here, this seam between the control panel and that piece. If that's uncomfortable, I'm not going to know that until I get hands-on with it. Now, the good thing is this will probably be a Best Buy. A lot of these deluxes are going to Best Buy and they're putting them on the floor. So I should have the opportunity before I buy it to walk into Best Buy and actually play it, get hands-on with it, and make sure that this is what I want. But I'm hoping that's not an issue, Papa Brad, but I've been thinking about that. I've also been thinking too, Papa Brad, is there are going to be companies out there that make aftermarket accessories and parts that are likely to come out with a aftermarket deck protector that will go over both pieces. And then that way you get a flush place to lay your hand on. I'm predicting that will probably come, a secondary aftermarket deck protector. Jason M is saying new people every year. This is definitely a year they are rehashing and re-releasing safe cabs to pad the accounts. Hopefully the results and risks in the future in 2024, but this is Arcade1up, so we'll see. So yeah, they're doing very safe approaches. We've been hearing this from a lot of other content creators in this space this last few days. And it's true. You know, this is all true. Really, Arcade1up is taking a safe approach this year. They're just doing rehashes. They're doing cabinets that they've already done before. You know, they've invested a lot of time and money into all the development of this software and the games on this PCB, and they're maximizing that by reusing it on this cabinet. So then that's freeing up that money they can use to make other advancements like this piece here on the front of the game deck and other places that like the marquee. So they're making improvements in other areas, at least, you know, with using the same PCB, same games, doing the safe approach, but at least giving us some extras and some reasons to buy. Carlo is saying, wait for the XL. I definitely agree with that. At Games Cadians is here. He's also done his hashtag for Countercade. Good to see you. Papa Brad says, I got the big blue at the charity sale. I wish I had gotten that. It was like, I think $150 or something. You'll have to remind us what you paid for it, but it is a really good deal if you were able to get it at the charity. And that kind of held me back from getting the big blue because I saw it for $400 and I was really tempted to get it, but I had remembered all of you guys who got it for like $150, $200. And I was like, man, I just can't go spend $400 when all these other people got it for, you know, $150, $200. Teddy says here, just let me get anything that's NBA Jam and Hang Time. So the Countercade I'm giving away, Teddy, you could have your choice of NBA Jam. So hopefully you win that. Goofyfoot saying, I'm a suspect of how durable that plastic panel cap will be with people leaning on it over time. And that's a good question, Goofy. I'm interested to see what was the condition of this cabinet at the end of Evo today. You know, I wish Kongs was still there and he could have taken some video and given us some insight on the condition of the cabinet after 3 days at a fighting game expo like that. Because you know those guys are really hard on those joysticks and those buttons. I'm interested to wonder, did they have to replace any over the last few days? Did they have to make any repairs to this in just that short time frame of just a few days? Teddy says here, he says, what are the two cabs up for grabs? So we've got a NBA Jam Countercade and an MK2 Countercade, and you would have your choice of one or the other. Your pick. Sean Handyside said, I think I entered correctly, but I'm driving. So Sean, all you would have had to do today is just do the hashtag Countercade. You have until, let's say this stream ends at 8:30 Pacific tonight. You'll have till 8:30 Pacific tomorrow night to do the rest of it, which you could go back and refer to this live stream on what to do, or you can check a community post later tonight that I'll be reposting because I had a typo in the first one I posted earlier today. But you could just follow the steps in either the live stream tonight or that community post. But you're good driving because you've done everything you have to do tonight to enter. Matt Astra Gaming says, when do you draw the names? So that's a good question. So that's to be determined. I was hoping to do it next weekend during my normal chill and chat, but we have a gaming convention next weekend here in Phoenix. So I haven't decided when I'm going to do the drawing, but I would rather do it sooner rather than later. I want to get it done and get it out of the way. So I'm debating maybe doing just a random live stream during the week or something like that. Now, Matt Astra, good news is don't, you know, stay by the keyboard waiting for that live stream because you don't have to make that one. Whenever I do that one and I draw, let's say if I draw your name that night, you won't have to be there. You just have to know about it within a 5-day business time period. Papa Brad's Gaming says all these basic arcade games mostly play well on at games, and soon most will also work on iArcade once the correct ROMs and configs are found. MK runs smooth as butter on the iArcade. And you know, I've got all the Street Fighters on my modded cabinet. I've got all the Mortal Kombats. But there's something to be said about playing these games on a dedicated cabinet with the artwork that matches. That's what we're going after. That's really why we buy Arcade1up, is for the artwork and the that feeling we get of having a cabinet that matches the game that we're playing. So it's definitely, you know, different when you're playing it this way as opposed to on a multi-cap. Just want to point that out. Papa Brad also said online has to be there and working well for Arcade1up to be a factor. It is something different that they can do. Carlo says, come on, Goofy. Don't you know Arcade1up is built to mil-spec 00? And I'm sure that's a joke. I don't know what mil-spec 00 is. I'll have to go look up the meaning of that later. Beach Native says, that's a good point, Biggie D. They should release both at the same time. I think that would be the best way to go about it. Thor says they didn't really put anything into the KI Pro except limiting the quality or quantity. You could debate quality as well. That makes it worth more than an XL. Lighted coin door, anti-fatigue mats don't really justify the price. Yeah, the price was way too high at $1,000. So let's move on here to some videos. So all these videos, all these images we're looking at were provided by Kongs or Us. So I definitely want to make sure that I give him credit where credit is due. He was the one who spent his time and effort going out to Evo to get us this information and to get us these images and these videos. But we're looking here at a video of the game deck. And I'm about to pause it here in a moment once we get a good look right there. So we can kind of see it there. And also, Bkong said in person, it's even more noticeable. So what we're seeing in this video and these images, we can definitely see that there is a difference in color between that outer piece and the game deck. It is a darker color on that outer piece. This is 100% something that they have to fix before these ship. So this is a prototype that we saw at Evo, and they do have some time, very limited amount of time to make adjustments and changes before it ships. This is something that they have to fix. If they ship this thing like this, they're done. This thing will not sell. I promise you. Someone walks up to this at Best Buy and they see that, they're not buying it. They're not going to spend $500. It just looks really bad. And it just doesn't make sense either. It's like, if you can't get the colors right, don't continue it. Just make it black if you have to. But don't put what's supposed to look the same and it doesn't. You know, that's, if that makes sense. You don't want to continue what they call, what do they call this stuff? They call it like concrete look, or there's a name for this pattern. But whatever the name of that pattern is, you don't continue that pattern to this outer piece if the colors don't match. Whoever made that decision obviously missed this, or they didn't see the final product before it got sent to the factory to be made. And that's, there were some steps missed. Now, the good thing about a prototype is that they get to see the mistakes that they made and they get pointed out to them. So I'm sure this is something that, you know, they know about and they're going to fix. They have to. Arrow Mad, he says online features add more replayability. Playing against or with friends is much more fun than playing the computer player. Wi-Fi should be on every cabinet moving forward. Absolutely. That's where the replay value really comes in, is when you have that Wi-Fi compatibility, not just for updates to improve your experience in the game. Hopefully they provide updates and make it better, but also the ability to play online. So if it's not an online game, they can do leaderboards. If it is an online game, even better. It just bonus. It just doubles the replay value because you can keep playing it. You just never get tired, especially if you're a really competitive player and you want to move up on the leaderboards, or you want to move up on your rank and your how, you know, your win to loss ratio. Carlo says that's where the bread crumbs go, Papa Brad. talking about that there is that space in between the game deck and that outer piece. And that's why I think we're probably going to get an aftermarket deck protector that will fill in that spot for us. And I also wonder, how uncomfortable is that without a deck protector, having that on your wrist in that little gap there? That piece is how that style cabinet really was. So are you stating, Steps, that the real Dynamo Street Fighter cabinet had a 2 different colors as far as what we're seeing here? Did it appear on the actual arcade this way? Because if it did, that would be the first time I've heard that, and that would make sense. That would make sense why they went with that. They went above and beyond to make sure it was authentic. They even went with 2 different colors. So you'll have to, or a darker color, I would say, on the outer piece. So let us know, is that true? Is it the real Street Fighter 2 Dynamo cabinet really have a darker color on the outside like that? Thor KC says staggering releases of the same game is almost guaranteeing that people are going to be upset. Yeah, you just keep doing that. And I agree, Thor, people are going to be upset. But at the end of the day, Arcade1up has to think about their bottom dollar. They have to think about what's going to make them successful as a company. And we've heard it plenty of times this week. Arcade1up is not catering to us, the enthusiasts, our community. They want to appeal to a mass audience, a large group of people that would otherwise be uninterested in Arcade1up. Those are the people they're trying to grab their attention, because that's who's going to grow Arcade1up and make them this huge company someday. They have to be just like a computer or a cell phone or a gaming system or anything else that an average person would buy. They need to be in that category. Arcade1up needs to be something that you walk into a friend's home, you're likely to see one. That's where Arcade1up needs to be successful. Unless they want to just stay a small company forever, and I don't think that they do. And I don't think that's their plan, and I don't think that they can survive long-term as a small company. I don't think their business structure and their business plan is set up to remain a small company very long. And the reason I say that is because they're so heavily invested in marketing and promotions and these conferences. And those type of companies have to grow because they have a lot of overhead. They have a lot of expenses to make up for. Goofyfoot says, I think we are the only ones who know what mil spec is Carlo. Yeah, so there's probably not many people that know what you two were talking about with that joke. Beach Native says, same here with the Big Blue at Papa Brad's Gaming. 150 is hella cheap. Yeah, I wish I would have gotten in on that. That whole Red Cross thing happened right before I started my channel. You guys will have to remind me, was that July of last year that they did that? Because I started my channel at the end of August. And I don't think that I was at that time. Like, I was a follower of Arcade1up and I was watching the Illuminati and, P-Dubs and Michael B and B-Kongs. I was watching all them, right? But I didn't have a channel yet. And I wasn't like 100% following Arcade1up all the time at that time when we did Red Cross. So I totally missed out on that 150 price tag. But if I had had a channel back then, I definitely wouldn't have missed it. I would have been covering it. Cornercade says, guys, Arcade1up sells to the retailers, not us. So when they bring a title to Best Buy that's like Double Dragon, Best Buy doesn't know that they know Pac-Man. Yeah, MK. They know Centipede. So he's got a good point. Cornercade, if you guys don't know, he works for Best Buy, so he knows why they buy these, which ones they want to buy, which ones sell at their stores, things like that. And it is true. Arcade1up, they cater to the retailers. The retailers, they're going to buy mass amounts of these things, thousands of them at a time. And then Arcade1up gets a paycheck immediately. They can then now move on to their next project or their next idea. Where if they're not doing that and they're creating, direct to consumer cabinets for a niche or a small amount of people, it's they're not able to move as quickly. They're not able to move on to their next project or their next idea as quickly as if with this idea where they just go straight to the retailer, they sell them what they want, they get their money and they're done and they just move on. And that's where they're at. The retailers run everything right now. Really, Arcade1up works for the retailer, and then we buy from the retailer. There's very little as far as Arcade1up that we buy direct now. They were trying to get into that direct to consumer, but it didn't really work out too well. And there's not much inventory on their website. It's difficult to buy through their website. It takes longer. You know, there's a lot of reasons why it's gone to the retailers and people are more comfortable with the retailer. Teddy says they can't get bigger with all the BS they're putting out. Blitz online issues from the start, etc. And I've seen Teddy in chats and in my comments. He's very critical of Arcade1up. I've been very critical of Arcade1up in the past myself. I won't shy away from being critical of them when they deserve it. You know, back when Blitz was happening, you guys can go back and you can rewatch some of the things I said about it. I was very unhappy with the way they handled that. But I guess I have a short memory on those things, because when they start doing positive things and they start doing things that I like, I start to forget about, you know, the Blitz online issues or the MVC2 issues last year. Now, another thing to keep in mind is a lot of those cabinets that had a lot of controversy last year, Blitz, MVC2, I didn't buy those cabinets. So I'm not as heavily invested as a lot of people out there are, and a lot of people in our chat are. And, you know, they have a lot of, you know, bad blood and memories of, you know, Arcade1up doing them wrong, basically, and selling them cabinets that weren't fully ready. I would probably feel like Teddy feels if I had spent $600 on Blitz, brought it home and found out, you know, the online didn't work or it wasn't fun. You know, those are things I probably would have felt differently if I had faced that myself. So I understand, and I want to try to put myself in your shoes, Teddy, and how you feel with these situations. Jason M saying, releasing the Pac-Man DLX in March with a leak of the XL 4 months later in July was terrible. Confuses people, just as they did when there were 2 Killer Instincts leaked. So yeah, we discussed this earlier. I had said it earlier. You've got your Pac-Man Deluxe, and then just, what was it, 2 or 3 months later, we got a leak of a Pac-Man XL. It's actually not even a leak. It was available in a store in Washington State just a couple weeks ago. So it's actually even available already. So better just get them out at the same time. Give people the option. Don't have them buy the Deluxe and then have to turn around and sell it and then buy the XL just a few months later. Give them that option from the beginning. I think you'll save yourself a lot of headache. Not only that, you're going to make more money as a company, Arcade1up, because people are going to pay more for the XL. I promise you, that's what people want. And then also Killer Instinct. Jason brings up a really good point. When Killer Instinct came out in the Pro, it was very controversial because it was just maybe a month or two before that we got the Killer Instinct 3/4 scale. So again, it was like another situation where people invested in the 3/4 scale Killer Instinct, and then the Pro comes out, a month or two later, and they didn't even have the option to buy that one. It's just not a good deal for anyone all around. So here is an image or a video of the marquee. So this is something I think that they've done really well on, is this marquee. This is something we complain about a lot. If you guys watch an Arcade1up live stream or you watch an Arcade1up video, you're likely at any given time to hear about an Arcade1up marquee and the dissatisfaction of Arcade1up customers with their marquees. And then you also hear a lot about like Zabo's marquees because everyone's replacing them. So they've listened and they've actually done it right this time. They mentioned it earlier in the live stream. They've done double-sided art with reverse printed artwork on the other side that faces that light, giving full light, even distribution of light through the entire marquee. In this one, we heard it from B-Kongs directly. He is very impressed with this marquee, extremely impressed. And I trust B-Kongs. I think he would tell us, like, something I was really happy with Bekongs this weekend was his question about the rigged giveaway. You know, that really set everything up for, he's kind of like our liaison. You know, Travis MCP was supposed to be our liaison. It kind of looks like Travis MCP works for Arcade1up now, where now Bekongs is kind of taking over that, and he's being our liaison. He's asking the hard questions. He's giving us the accurate information. And that's why I feel more confident when he says this marquee is perfect. I go with it, because after hearing him ask those hard questions about the rig contest, I know he's for us. He's not, you know, all for Arcade1up. He wants our questions answered. He wants us to be satisfied with the information that we're getting so we can make good decisions on what we purchase. Let's see here if anyone has anything to say on the marquees, and then I'll also bring up any other chats here that I see that look interesting. Jason Pacers fan, he says, I want an Arcade1up to have a large enough base to make more new titles. Yeah, so any of these things that we don't like these like small upgrades each year, these small additions each year, where they're just not doing, you know, completely new cabinets. It's kind of like a rehash with like 1 or 2 extra things added. It's really good for their financials and their ability to invest in new games and new projects in the future. So don't always look at that as a negative. They got to create this stuff to, you know, fill their bank account so they can then progress and make bigger, better stuff for us. Arrowmad, he says, I think I'm saying that right. Arrowmad. Otherwise, I prefer my multicades. I have a 2-player, a 4-player, and a vertical at-games machine for everything else. It sounds like he's got it. I'm the same way. I've got my at-games Legends Ultimate, which is my multicade. I've got my iArcade, which is my multicade, and my iArcade's really about to get fun. I've got this guy right here, a custom arcade. I haven't actually installed it yet, but I'm kind of watching. I'm, you know, in the stands right now, just watching. I'm not going to actually get involved and just as an analogy, get on the field yet until I see everything safe. If I see anyone's iArcades just, you know, brick, then I'm going to have second thoughts about doing these mods. I've actually heard in just a little iArcade talk here, I had heard someone on a Facebook group have difficulty when they were backing their Arcade1up, ran into some issues where it got deleted on his computer and just some issues. So there are some issues out there, and I want all that stuff to get worked out before I start modding my iArcade. But I'm looking forward to doing it. I got brought up because we were talking multicades. And that's about to be the ultimate multicade, is the iArcade. Ritual Della is saying he's late to the party. No problem, Ritual Della. We're going to go here for a little bit longer, and then you got plenty of time to put in your hashtag countercade if you want to enter. Cornercade says, guys, Arcade1up wants to sell to people that are new. We are in home arcade community, make up 1% of the sales. My friend just bought a casino cade and he's new to Arcade1up. And that's true. We're in this niche community. We're even small for YouTube, but imagine like the entire United States and Canada and all the people that could potentially buy an Arcade1up. It probably would be 1%. It may even be less than that. And they got to grow that number. They got to get it to like 3% or 2%. Cornercade says, so their middle works. We won't buy that thing, but others like it. And, model. Their model works. Jason M says, it was billed for floor model. It isn't available to actually purchase Pac-Man XL yet until September. So that's interesting, Jason. I had actually spoken to someone who works at Costco in the Arcade1up Facebook group, and he had pulled up on the system that they were available for sale that next day that we saw that leak. Like if Costco had one in their store, they could sell it. Like in their system, it would allow them to sell it. So there was some difficulty finding one, of course. But as far as the system, they could officially sell it in the system. But maybe that's changed, or that information was wrong and they weren't able to sell it, and they do have to wait till September to do that. I saw Rhea just joined. She's a new member. Thank you, Rhea. I appreciate you joining the membership. Right now with the memberships, I'm just doing shout outs in the live chats. If I see your icon there next to your name that you're a member, I'll definitely keep that in mind when I'm bringing up live chats. Make sure you guys get a little more priority. But also in the also I've got emojis, guys. I created some extra emojis for members, and I'm also on the lowest tier. I'm at 99 cents right now because I haven't fully developed my membership yet. I do have plans on doing like exclusive videos for members, and then also having access to certain videos before others do. So those are in the works, and those plans are going to happen eventually. But right now it's just bottom tier, 99 cents. You get emojis and just some, extra, I guess, priority on, your live chats and stuff in the live streams. And then also just thanking you guys for the support, because all that money that you guys spend on memberships or anything on this channel, whether it be the store, super chats, all goes back into the channel. Every cent, every red cent will go back into the channel. And when I say that, that doesn't mean I'm going to go buy an arcade with it. I'm going to buy equipment to make my channel a better experience for you guys. So like what you're hearing, I would get a better microphone. What you're seeing, I would get a better camera. Or like when I go do my walk and talks, I would get a better camera for that. And I would be upgrading that equipment to make sure you guys have better experiences while watching. Cornercade's talking about Killer Instinct. Jason M says it's a valid SKU that has been confirmed coming in September. Okay, so he's cleared that up. Maybe I got some bad information from that guy who worked at Costco that day. There's no way to really even to verify, like when someone tells you something, that's actually accurate. He did post a screenshot though of the computer screen with the XLs on there, and it showed that there were none available in all the stores in his area. Rhea said, "What's up, crew? Be sure to like the stream if you haven't yet. Definitely hit that like button, guys. Would sure appreciate that. Thank you, Rhea." So we got a lot of chats coming through, guys. A lot of good discussion. Fireside Arcade, he says, also waiting to do the iArcade backup. Better safe than sorry. That's where I'm at. I'm going to let everyone else be the guinea pig and do, the modding starting out. Once like P-Dub's official tutorial video comes out, I'll be a little closer, and then I'll probably just wait, in a few weeks after that tutorial video comes out and see, are there any major issues, and then I'll start modding mine. Beach Native says, dang, it's getting late and I have to wake up early for work. Thanks for the awesome stream, Biggie D. Smash that like, folks. Good night. Good to see you, Beach Native. Glad you made it. I know it's already getting late on I think you're East Coast probably. You're in Florida, aren't you? Papa Brad's Gaming, he's using the emojis. We got the Arcade Gamer emoji with the logo, and I'll be adding more of those over time. I am a graphic artist, so if I can just dedicate the time to sitting down to make those emojis, I could make a ton of them. And if you guys have ideas on emojis I should create, let me know. Let Zohar design a few for you. All right, so let's get here on... okay, so one other thing I want to discuss here to kind of wrap up our discussion on this Champion Edition HS5 Deluxe is the screen quality. So we are getting the BOE screen with good colors throughout, no issues there. So we'll see B do that thumbs up there, and that's our indication we're good on the screen. So we'll probably never forget or quit asking that question. Ever since the NBA Jam XL and the Golden Tee XL came out, we're never going to forget. It's got to be a BOE every time, and we're going to make sure. So another thing I want to bring up too, guys, is the fact that this is the same PCB. This is the same games list. And I want to say for you guys out there, the guys that own Street Fighter cabinets, especially the Yoga Flame, especially the Shinku Hadouken, this really is good for you guys that they continue to use the same PCB, because it's going to grow the online activity, right? The people that play online for beat 'em up games, the people that are playing the street fighting games online, that's going to grow that user base. And it's going to make it more likely that there are available games in place for you to play, more likely that you're going to be able to interact and be able to play your beat 'em ups with friends and others out in the community, because they're likely to have a cabinet like you that has the same PCB. So it's not always negative that we're getting the same games and the same PCB, because if you kind of try to look at the positive is if you own that cabinet, you're more likely to have friends and others to play with online. So I did want to point that out. So let's get in, guys. I want to discuss here. Well, I kind of had this planned here. We're kind of running short on time because I've already been going now for about an hour and a half, but there's been some really good discussion in the chat. And I had made this slide basically where I'm just on screen, and I had made a note, let's chat about whatever you guys want to talk about. We're kind of limited on time, so we may only do this for like 5 or 10 minutes. But whatever you guys want to talk about, let's chat about it. I'm not going to bring up the subject. I'm just going to comment on it. Okay, guys? JJ says, aren't the newer PCBs set up with a USB port inside the cabinet for potential expansion or add-on? So newer PCBs do have USB ports. So there is an image of the Street Fighter CE HS5 Deluxe, and I believe it has a USB-C input as well as an SD card input. And most of your cabinets are going to at least have a USB or a USB-C or a micro USB input. I know some do not have the SD card. But as long as it's got some way, you know, like whether it be a USB input or an SD card, that opens up the ability for, like we had discussed last week, the downloadable games. When that comes next year, my thought is that's going to open up any online cabinets to be able to add downloadable games. So like as long as yours can update and it can connect online to the Arcade1up servers, it will be available for the new digital downloads starting next year. And my theory is that they will use the USB ports for us to use thumb drives or portable hard drives or some form of additional storage. And then Papa Brad's talking about he did a tutorial, no reason to wait. And that is a really good point, Papa Brad. And I did watch some of your tutorials this week. And if anyone knows out there, I'm pretty good friends with Papa Brad. I actually talk to him quite a bit outside of YouTube. And nothing against you, Papa Brad. I just don't want to take any chances. So I know P-Dubs, he's like an expert at making tutorial videos. He does a very good job with his tutorial videos, and that shows in his numbers. I mean, he's one of the highest ranking YouTubers in the home arcade space. And that's a result of how good his tutorial videos are. And it's nothing against you, Papa Brad. I just don't want to take any chances with my setup. And that's why I'm going to wait for P-Dubs. Also, P-Dubs lives down the street, so if he screws me over, I know where he lives. No, I'm just joking. All right, so Cornercade says, dang, cool. Thank you for the heads up. Science Spirits is here. He says, I appreciated the tutorial, PB. And let's see here. Cornercade says, I wish they had combined the Big Blue and the Yoga Flame games. Definitely, yeah. If they could have combined the Big Blue and the Yoga Flame, that would have been a home run. And I felt like if they would have had their choice, they should have gone with the Big Blue PCB, because I think the Darkstalkers and having that and be able to play that online has more replay value than the beat 'em ups. Personally, for me, I would have rather had the Darkstalker games in place of the beat 'em ups, personally. That Big Blue PCB with those games was like the ultimate setup for fighting games. They may have lost a license, or maybe it's more difficult to get the license right now for Darkstalkers. There may be something behind the scenes we don't know about and why they chose to do the Yoga Flame. So I've got my chats coming in slow here, so I'm bringing up my phone chat just to see what all is coming in here. So let's see here. Thor says that's another problem digital downloads could fix. Jason M says, waiting on one near perfect Street Fighter and MKXL and won't buy any other fighters after that. Big Corner Kate says, when I get a laptop, Biggie D is joining the show. Yeah, get your laptop, Corner Kate. I would actually suggest a desktop if you're going to be streaming. But we could start, collaboration and do some shows together. You could be a guest on my show. I could be a guest on your show. And who knows where that could go. We could end up having like a weekly show or something in the future. But you got to get your setup. I know you've done really good with your live streams. Your gameplay live streams and everything have been really successful for you. But my recommendation is getting like a desktop and a webcam and a real microphone where you can sit down and you can present things and kind of change it up, because you definitely want to keep doing what you're doing, but also have this in addition to what you're doing. I think would really be good for your channel. And that's just as a friend, just telling you, as a friend. Teddy80 here, he says, I may have asked you, but can you access the NBA Jam PCB that has a micro USB port? I don't think we can. That would probably be a better question for like Mystery Encoder. But if Arcade1up wanted to do that, they absolutely could. I would believe they could. I have one new in the box that I've been trying to get instruction on how to access it if I lose the online play. So yeah, Mystery Encoder is probably the one to ask on that. And I see he's not in the chat tonight, but he's around. Thor KC says, the question is the Big Blue PCB strong enough to run everything in the 23-24 Capcom games list? I think so, but don't know for certain. I would think the PCB in the Big Blue is strong enough. I have heard, though, console kids complain about how laggy the menu system is on the Big Blue. In fact, he sold his Big Blue, kept his Yoga Flame, because he likes how snappy and quick the menu system is on the Yoga Flame. So you may be onto something, Thor, with that. And I think you may be onto something. That PCB is not powerful enough, I don't think. Ritual Dello says, I prefer Darkstalkers over Street Fighter. That's just me. Thor, he says, I'm terrible at fighting games, but Darkstalkers is fun in spite of my terribleness. And that's true. I mean, Darkstalkers is, like your hardcore fighting, really competitive fighting, like professionals out there and stuff, they don't really play Darkstalkers. So I think even like a casual fan of fighting games can get into Darkstalkers and actually be decent at it. Where like Street Fighter, it's kind of already dominated by the people that are good at that game. And it'll continue to be that way because like you saw at EVO, but you don't see Darkstalkers at EVO. Jason M says, maybe testing some games on iArcade tomorrow myself. So Jason M is going to get into the iArcade modding as soon as tomorrow. And also Teddy says, he said they don't do anything to PCBs or ROMs. He's already asked Mystery Encoder about this and didn't get an answer on it. Okay. But yeah, we can get it. I think that's coming. I think those are good questions, Teddy, because starting next year when the digital downloads come out, we're going to be really interested in, can we use our already existing cabs to download these digital games? And I think for Arcade1up to maximize their profit and to maximize, us being pleased as customers, they're going to want to make all online enabled cabinets at least the ability to download certain titles to those cabinets. So like for instance, my Miss Pac-Man, I should be able to download games that can run on that PCB that can utilize just the joystick and the 3 buttons I have on my cabinet. And they know what the layouts are on each cabinet, so they can program and do their whole back end and everything for that and make sure it's set up correctly and we don't run into any issues. Like each cabinet you log into will have a certain store for that cabinet and what can play on that particular cabinet. Ritual Dell says Evo Darkstalkers and Vampire Survivors are popular actually. So that's really cool to hear, Ritual Dello. I like Darkstalkers a lot. I haven't seen much in the fighting game community as far as Darkstalkers, but that's just me personally. I'm not, huge into the fighting game community. So it's good information to have you confirm that for us, or for me at least. Headshake TV says, what's up, Biggie? Congrats on 1,000 again. Thank you, Headshake. And I had met Headshake just a few weeks ago. I guess it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago at the arcade. He's a really cool guy out of California. He's got a channel himself, and I had saw his video. He goes around town, goes to arcades and shows them off. And that looked like a really cool arcade you went to this weekend out by the beach area. I forgot what city that was, but I remember having beach in the name, so it must be close to the water. All right, so next thing I'm going to get into, guys, is my closing thoughts. I only have a couple of closing thoughts here I was going to discuss. We're kind of running over on time as it is. So I did change out my buttons on my KI this weekend. So I'd gotten really into the Street Fighter stuff on Friday when that got released, and it just got me really antsy to get my Killer Instinct up and running and the way I want it, because I just itching to play some fighting games right now. So I'd replaced all my buttons on my Killer Instinct. I'd kept the original joysticks. The joysticks that come in here are pretty good, actually, but I don't like the concave buttons. I like the convex buttons. They just feel better on my hands, and they're just, I don't know, it just feels better, looks better, plays better for me. So that's why I go with those, but it's all personal preference on, which ones you like. But I think most people agree they don't like the standard buttons that come in the Arcade1up. They're pretty crappy buttons. It's pretty common in our community for people to replace them. But this is what they look like originally. You can see it's just this cheap, like plastic, just like bottom of the line button. You can see on the right side there, I've already put a couple in at this photo, and you can see the difference. So the kind I use actually have mechanical keyboard technology built into the button. So it's more precise, a little more accurate, and then also quicker to respond, I believe. For me, I feel that they are, at least. It gives me that impression. Now, is it actually faster or more accurate or those things? I don't know, but I do feel that way. I do feel like I'm better in KI with these buttons. But this is it with it all completely filled out with all the new buttons. And you can really see there the backs of these and how much differently they look. And you can't see how long these are, but these are actually much longer buttons. And there's a screw cap that goes around it and holds those in place so they don't move around or come out. But they're actually much longer. They're pretty deep as far as how far they go into the cabinet. Very cool stuff, though. And, I really like replacing these buttons. It's one of the greatest things is getting new buttons in your arcade cabinet. But what's even better than getting new buttons, and what's even more incredible than that, is a super chat from Jason M. Congratulations on your first 1K. You got this. Keep up the good work, boss. $10 super chat. I appreciate that, Jason M. I really do. It's going to go, like I said, towards the channel to just grow this channel and make it better, make your experience better. And I was actually going to start working on super chat videos, because like we go watch 19K Fox. He's got his super chat videos. We go watch Papa Brad. He's got his, or, there's others out there. We've even seen Michael B doing it lately. He's got his pinball money video, which I find pretty funny and entertaining to see him having fun with that. So I want to create my own super chat videos, and I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with those, but it is in the back of my mind. I wanted to get those prepared for today, but I didn't have enough time to get them ready. But hopefully by next live stream, guys, I'll have my super chat videos ready to go, because I think that makes it even more fun. Not only are you supporting the creator, but you're getting an experience after the super chat. I think that is a lot of fun and entertainment for everyone. Let's see here. JJ says, all this mod talk reminds me there was a guy who called himself Very Sneaky, who could mod Gen 1 and possibly Gen 2 PCBs to expose more games or add them. Okay, so that's really cool. So I don't remember Very Sneaky. I was following YouTube content. I was following Tech Buzz, watching his show back in like 2019 when Cool Toy was on his show. So I've been following this stuff for a long time, but I don't remember this person in particular. But I know there's been a lot of people that started off in home arcade on YouTube, created a lot of really cool stuff, and then they're not around anymore. They just never came back. I hear certain people like P-Dubs talk about certain creators out there that I just never heard of or didn't remember. but I hope they come back. I hope, you know, home arcade grows and we get more content creators. We get content creators from the past come back, because the more people we have that provide not just entertainment, but good information, interviews with Arcade1up, and, you know, information on new products. It's fun. It's a good opportunity for us to all gather and, you know, give our thoughts and our opinions on this stuff. Something I look forward to every week is, you know, coming online and chatting with you guys and watching other people's live streams, and then also doing my own. It's just a lot of fun. So I hope, like for JJ, for this person, that this person comes back. Ritual Della says, I like concave for fighters. You could slide across the buttons quicker. Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy just to move your hands across those buttons with fighting games. It's like, for me, a must. Like, all my cabinets are going to get these concave or convex buttons. Concave is the, you have to correct me, Ritual Dell. Concave are the ones that come with the Arcade1up. Convex are the ones that I have on mine that I'm showing right now, or is it the opposite? These are the buttons that I bought. I would like to verify that, but in the description on the ones that I bought, it doesn't say. So these are the ones that I got. It's called the SJ and JX Arcade 28mm push button keyboard MX micro switch screw-in type buttons. They come in all these different colors. They're pretty cheap. They're like $16 for 8. And keep in mind, these are not the greatest buttons. These are not sandwall buttons. These are not that type of quality. But these do the job, and they are better than what's coming in the Arcade1up. That I can confirm and tell you with confidence. Now, one thing I noticed too, when I do these mods, is that the marquee looks really bad on Killer Instinct. I'm sure you guys know this marquee is horrible. It's terrible. And so I've already been planning on getting a new marquee, and I had watched PD7's video on his Zabo slip-on marquee, and this has been something I've been thinking about for a really long time. But whenever I watched PD7's video on the slip-on marquee, and he just explained how easy it was to do it, and he also gave me like a promo code on his video, 10% off. That's what put me over the edge. And that was like 2 weeks ago. And I had watched his video, and I immediately went to Zabo's Arcade, and I had ordered the slip-on marquee for the Killer Instinct. I used his discount code PD710, which saved me $5. So that's your total with shipping and everything. I do want to let you guys know, keep in mind, with Zabo's marquee, it does take a long time. I'm 2 weeks since I purchased, and I still don't even have a tracking number. So it takes a really long time with this guy. But he puts out the best looking marquee you can get, and it's super easy to install. If you guys haven't checked out PD7, go check out his channel and watch his video on this stuff, and it'll show you exactly how easy it is. And it's a must-do with Killer Instinct. Scott Gray, he's a new member. Congratulations, Scott. Thank you for joining the Biggie D's Arcade Gamers membership. And I really appreciate the support. And thank you for becoming a member. You will have access to the emojis. You will also get priority on any live chats. And when I see your name come up on the live chat, I will definitely make sure to bring your messages up. And then we'll also have future benefits coming up as well. Matt Astor Gaming says, I think I subbed under my other account by accident. And that's, I think you're talking about subbing to my channel under another account. I have no problem with that. Headshake TV, or maybe he's talking to Headshake TV, because it looks like there's some conversation going on in here. Thor here is going to confirm for us, I think. So concave means it has curves, like a cave. Okay, is how I remember. So concave is what we're getting, and I think that's what I've been saying this entire time. So I think I was right. Concave is what we're getting with the Arcade1up, because oh wait, concave means it has curves in it, like a cave. So we got curves in both buttons. So is a concave what comes with the Arcade1up, and is convex what I've upgraded to, or is it the opposite? I still don't think I've got confirmation on that with that message. Papa Brad's saying he buys real Sandwall. That's probably the way to go. I was looking at Sandwall. They're a little more expensive than these here. Also, these are 28 millimeter. I think your Sandwalls are 30 millimeter. If I'm right on that. And I've seen some people having to like drill a little bigger holes in certain game decks for certain Arcade1ups. I don't want to run into any issues like that, and I don't want to jam buttons in. So that's why I chose these. These fit in really good, really easily. They actually will even move around. That's why you got to tighten them real tight from the bottom. And when you do that, they won't move, but they come in and out, no problem. No drilling necessary. No shoving the button in is necessary. But I would definitely recommend a Sandwall to anyone out there who wants one because they are better buttons. Headshake TV, yes, very good. Thank you for that. And I'm not quite sure. I'm not up to speed on what they're discussing there. Jason M says, I have several of these marquees. He did a great job. I have Outrun, Star Wars, and he has others. But you'll wait a couple of months. So I'm 2 weeks in, so I have up to, looks like 6 weeks before I get my marquee. And that's a long time. But PD7 did give me the warning early on. Before I ordered, he's like, be prepared to wait a while. And he said if you order on eBay, you may get it a little sooner. But I couldn't use the promo code on eBay, so I went with the direct website, which takes longer. Up to 2 months is what Jason's saying here. And, you know, I don't like having to wait a long time. But for the quality, you know, for the quality of a Zabo's marquee, I know it's worth it. And look at this, Aeromed, $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Really appreciate the super chat, Aeromed. Congratulations on 1,020 subscribers. I was at 1,019 when I'd started. I guess I hit the 1,020 during the stream tonight. Super appreciate the super chat and the congratulations as well. I definitely appreciate your support of the channel as well. And that is awesome of you. Super chat videos are coming, guys. They are on their way. They will be here soon. I promise. Jason M says here, playing games like Pac-Man, DK, etc. No way I'll use convex. No ways he's going to use convex buttons. Playing Pac-Man and DK. You know, I've got the convex on my Miss Pac-Man, and I play Galaga, and I like the convex. So it's all, you know, preference. Everyone's different. And that's why they make the two different kinds, because, you know, half the people will like the concave, half the people will like the convex. It's all personal preference. And Ritual Della says, yeah, concave is better for shooters. Convex is better for fighters. Damn phone keeps messing me up. And you may be talking about the autocorrect and things like that on your phone. I've run into those issues so many times. Tonight I was watching Console Kits, and I meant to say he's a great streamer, and somehow the auto type ended up, or no, I said Console Kits is back. He's back live streaming. And I said with the autocorrect, Console Kits is bad at live streaming. Literally, that's what the message said, and that's not what I meant to say. I meant to say he is back live streaming. Dr. Z, member, concave is caved in with a dip. So that's, yeah, concave, it's caved in. That's what we're getting with our stock standard buttons on the Arcade1up. As far as I know, I don't think they've ever used a convex button until the light up buttons. I think their light up buttons may be convex because they've used light up buttons on an NBA Jam. I think Kotsko or Sam's Edition back in the day. And then they're using the light up buttons on the new NBA Jam Deluxe. They're also using the light up buttons on the new Pac-Man XL. And I think we're going to start seeing more light up buttons. And I think those only come in convex. I don't think you can get a concave light up button, can you? You guys let me know out there if you can or if you've seen those. I haven't. So this is the last part here for my closing thoughts. This is the Game On Expo, and this is the reason that I'm not going to be doing the selection of the winners next weekend because, or not the selection, the drawing, the random drawing of the names for the winners next weekend, because I'm going to be at the Game On Expo. And that's going to be August 11th through the 13th. So it starts on Friday and it's going to run till Sunday. And this is like our one big gaming conference in Phoenix area for the entire year. So I'm definitely going to be at this 100%. I don't know what days yet I'm going to go. I may just go on like Saturday, or if it's less expensive on Sunday, I may just pop in there on Sunday. But if you guys are in the area and you want to meet up, let me know. Use my contact form or chat it in the live stream or comment on one of my videos and let me know you're going to be at Game On, and let's try to plan on meeting up and enjoying the conference together. I know I was going to go with P-Dubs, but he's having some issues with the family right now. I know he's dealing with some things. So he's probably not going to get a chance to make it this year, unfortunately. But anyone else in the area, I know A-Tran's in the area. I know Mr. Encoder's in the area. Who else? I know Headshake's made it out here before. Anybody that I have met in this area that wants to go, let me know. Let's plan on getting there together. But if I go by myself, I'm still going to get content for the channel and share it with you guys out there. I'll try and do a live stream. That'll be difficult though, I think, without Wi-Fi. So it'll probably be, pre-recorded videos, but I'm going to get some excellent content at Game On. And we may not have a live stream next weekend, like a regular live stream like we're doing tonight, if I'm at Game On. So we'll see on Sunday if I go to Game On. If I don't, I'll probably do a live stream. So we'll see what happens next Sunday. But just stay tuned in on the channel, watching any videos I put out, any community post, and you'll be up to date with everything that's going on. Pretty much everything I do on this channel, I'm going to make a community post about it. And that's what a community post is, right? It's communicating to your viewers what's going on with your channel. So I would stay tuned in to the community post area on my YouTube page. I try to update that pretty much every day or every other day. So there's always something new to see in that area on my page. Thor is saying the international selection of the winner, or the totally random drawing, laughing out loud. Okay, Ashley. Yeah, so this is not a selection. This is a random drawing. So I'm putting all the names into a wheel, and randomly that wheel is going to select names, and we're going to see the names on the wheel. So you'll know your name is there. And there will not be any confusion on who the winner is. And you guys will all see it live. So definitely make sure, guys. So you guys I've seen tonight a lot of countercade, hashtag countercades in the live stream tonight. Lots of them. There may be 50, there may be 100 in this chat. So each and every one of those hashtags that you guys have made, you guys individually will each have to go to my contact website after this live stream. So as soon as I hit the end button, if you guys have sent it during this live stream, that's not going to count. It's only going to count after I hit the end button on this live stream, which is likely going to be after 9 o'clock tonight. And that's going 9 p.m. Pacific. And then you'll have 24 hours. So you'll have from around 9 p.m. Pacific until 9 p.m. tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Pacific tomorrow night, to do this, to go to this web address, athomearcades.com, or clicking the contact us or contact form button in the upper right of my YouTube page will get you there as well. You'll have to go to there, and you'll have to send me an email right here, 1B. Once the stream concludes, you will have 24 hours username, a contact email that I can reach you at if you win, and a unique 4-digit code. So whatever code you want to make, don't share it with anyone. That's all you have to do to enter. And then you're not going to have to do anything else until a winner is selected or drawn. I'm sorry. And when that winner is drawn, if you're that individual, you're that person, there'll be more steps to come, which we've covered tonight. And we'll go over that again. And there'll be a community post available to you to review as well if you ever have questions. Put comments in the community post if you have questions. Don't be afraid to ask. I will be around and I will be answering those questions to make sure everyone has an equal and fair chance to win this contest. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. It's been a little bit longer than usual, probably because we've got all this contest stuff going on. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I've definitely enjoyed my time with you guys this evening and talking Street Fighter Champion Edition Deluxe. I'm really excited for this cabinet. Will it be in the Biggie D arcade? We'll see here in just a couple of months. In October is when that is going to be available. We'll see if they address some of these issues we've discussed tonight, as far as like the color being off on the game deck and some other things like that. But there'll be a lot to cover here over the next few weeks leading up to Cleveland Gaming Convention, which is kind of like the big event for the year for home arcade, which is coming up in September. So all really cool stuff. Happy you guys have made it tonight. Make sure to stay tuned in, and I'll see everyone in the next one. Bye-bye.